Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. My name is Benjamin Shipper. I am a cartoonist, and I love showcasing the work that inspires me, the cartoonists and publications, books that inspire me. This is my first book, Joe Death and the Graven Image. It's published from Dark Horse Comics. Came out about 2 months ago, and it's almost sold out at the publisher level. It might actually be sold out at the publisher level. Dark Horse is not super fast on letting me know the numbers, but last I heard they sold about 2,500 copies out of the first print run, which is 3,000 copies. So really happy it's selling out there. If you do want one, you can find one from any comic book store, anywhere books are sold. I bought copies to sell at shows, but I am also going to offer them on my website, the copies that I have, with certain benefit of drawings inside. So probably gonna have three different options. One without a drawing, probably $25. One with kind of a boilerplate drawing, a little cartoon of either Joe or the Moth Blue for $30. And then a little bit more of like a go into town deluxe version for $50. So this is probably something similar that you'd see on on one of those $50 versions. There's a few more. Just character with a background, trying to fill up the page. Just a little bit more love in these, a little bit more of a different detailed drawing. So you can go to my website, benjaminshipper.com, if you're interested in that. I am gonna go on a lot of shows this year. This is a list of my shows. I've already had a local book launch here in Greenville, South Carolina. My next show is going to be at Ann Arbor Comic Arts Festival in Ann Arbor, Michigan, from June 10 to 11. I'll be at Heroes Con in Charlotte later on. I'll be at Fan Expo Denver in June and July, Fan Expo Knoxville in July, and some SPX, Small Press Expo, September 9th through 10th. Cartoon Crossroads, Columbus, September 27th through October 1st, and Lightbox Expo. You're rounding out the year with Lightbox. I'm really excited about that show in Pasadena, California. A lot of my work is inspired by animation, and I'm so excited to just rub shoulders with animation people there and just share some cartoon love. But that's what we've got. It's gonna be a busy year. I'm really excited, and I hope to see you at one of these shows. But let's get back to the feature of this episode. Sergio Toppi is just a magnificent illustrator, designer, cartoonist, artist, and writer. I believe he wrote all these stories, and these are just two big collections of I think 8 or 9 or well possibly even 10. And it's hard. I don't exactly know where to start other than just like himself as a person. He was a Italian artist. Let me read the back matter here. Sergio Toppi was born in Milan, Italy, on October 11th, 1932. Self-taught artist, he began his career in illustrations working for the renowned Italian publisher UTET on numerous notable advertising campaigns. Toppi passed away August 21st, 2012, in the city of his birth. These are fantastic collections of his work. They come out from Magnetic Press, and like I said, there's at least 10 of these big collections, and they're grouped into either subject matter or certain location of the world. He was like he did stuff for National Geographic. He did stuff for publications that require more realism. They wanted more realism, and especially the locality of the ethnicity of the characters and the history that he had to illustrate. So that's really one of the most fantastic things I think about his cartooning, is that he's right in between like super realistic, or at least he's giving a lot of texture that makes you believe it's realistic, but he's still got his own style. He's got his own flair, and just a mastery at defining ethnicities well, not not in a silly way, but just fantastically done. But I have two of his books. This one's Volume 1, The Enchanted World, and Volume 2, North America. I want to look at a few stories in both. He is the writer, unless it's credited that someone else wrote, which I've read both of these, and I don't believe that there might be one or two that someone else wrote for him, but I actually don't think so. I think he's the full deal. He's the full enchilada. But let's go with this one for first. He's like a master at the short story. He did a lot of short stories. I don't know. I mean, I like them, but seldom do they all just like hit with a super big punch. But I think that's fine. I think that's a really good. It's just good to make stories, and if they have a beginning, middle, and an ending, they are a story. And I think Mignola. I mean, I'm a big fan of Mignola, of course, and I think he and many cartoonists that are interested in art really pulled a lot of the storytelling. It's certainly the kind of stacking of shapes and of characters, faces, environments, the real like almost like brutality of his shapes, just totally shape oriented with tons of like graphic detail. There's a lot of mark making in here, and really like this signifiers of his style or his influence or his worth here artistically, I think, is first of all composition, deciding what iconographic images are going to be overlaid and placed together. Once he's done that, he goes in with detail, just total, but it's not, I say detail, but it's really not detail. It's like, it's texture and it's pattern, and it's like just pure like mark making. And I think it's like he found this thing when probably in his early career, and he knew how to trick people into thinking that there's detail. I mean, there's detail, but what the eye is picking up is the texture, and all of that is through just like mark making of a brush or of a mechanical pen, and it's all just like, it's like the effort is there, and you're noticing the effort, and you're understanding it as you're seeing it, but it's quite monotonous. A lot of it, it's just filling in. He's just filling in a ton of space with little cross hatching, squiggles. It's just, it's great. I do think it locks him in a lot of ways. I think it, kind of all his stories do seem to have the visual look, of course, and which, of course is not bad. If you look at something and you see something that's recognizable, it's probably what he wanted. Anyway, this is a story, a little short story called Hortrouge. I believe that's how you pronounce it. About a woman away up in the mountains in this little cabin, which no one visits, but a bear and a wolf. They come in and they say they're tired. They want to be stroked by her, be petted by her. And she does run her hands through their hair. And they don't leave like they came in. They leave as these little sculptures. She goes off to the king of her country. It's kind of like this is kind of her like economy, I suppose. Either catching or changing live things into toys for the king. And she goes off, sells them. And one day, a hunter who's hunted very far, very, very tired, comes in to her valley, to her little canyon, I suppose, sees her, and of course is taken with her, wants to lie with her, and asks to do so. And little did he know, he is now a little statue. And she says, though, that she will not sell him, and that she will place him on the top of her house to welcome her when she comes back. She goes off, but she never returns. Either the king kept her there, or she was attacked on the road. But it ends on this just kind of somber note of him standing on the top of the house, forever pining after her. Pun intended, I'm sure. But as you can see, just like he'll do everything in a very iconographic way. And what I mean by that is finding the silhouette of whatever it is, and then trapping it and placing it where he wants it. So like this bear and her, this wolf, it's so well placed, and we know all the important features here of either her or the bear or the wolf, and he'll just stack them. Like her hair is now the backdrop for these little wooden sculptures. Wonderful composition, valley coming down, steeple going up, her leaving through the valley, the king and his children playing with the toys. And it's I don't know if I know, I would say manga, I suppose, in a kind of a way that where in manga things pop out of the panels, but I don't, maybe a lot of manga people were influenced by him as well, because I don't know back in the day how much manga there was available at the time. I'm sure everything is shared, but certainly this does seem to be inventive in his time. Of we've got, icon is an amazing iconography, or at least this ability to, in one panel, have a large close-up and also have a small figure here. It's like, in a way, being somewhere, being with a person. You can, when you're interacting with a person, just consider yourself walking into a room, see a friend or a stranger, and when you walk in, they're small. You see them sitting there, drinking coffee, whatever. You have that experience, and so it's there in your mind. When you get closer, you have a conversation with them, you see their face, you see them close up. The two images are existing in your mind, and you have that full visual experience, and then you go away and you remember both of those things. That's the amazing thing that he's doing here in one panel, and he'll just do that in multiple ways. The cartooning and the faces of these people are incredibly specific. They seem really very, very much like, I mean, I don't know an actor. I don't know the name of the actor that I'm thinking of when I look at this guy, but I feel like I've definitely seen this guy before on some movie. Probably not the same movie or the same person that Sergio was looking at, but really just amazing cartooning. But I did pick this story because there's a lot of restraint in the drawing, especially of the woman, and that lends itself to her beauty. That there's very few marks on her face and neck and arms. She's really left alone, and everything else builds around her to kind of just make her more beautiful, kind of shine out there. And pop. So, really great small story there. There's another one. This is the only color story in this book. There actually, well, let's see. There's some color images, and when he does color, man, it's amazing. He's like using different line media, different inks, probably different colored inks, or maybe even a blue pencil or colored pencils. But he'll paint over that, and it's just incredible stuff when he does. And he does have many stories that he does paint. I think there's a Scheherazade book that was really fantastic as far as his color work goes. This collection doesn't have a lot of it. That's all in there. Here is one story here from North America that is all painted. Not the best of his paintings, but you'll still see some really good stuff here. So it's called Katana. It's first published in the Italian magazine Comic Art number 40, 1988, the year before I was born. And this is a super fun one. So we get this kind of a miner. We have some text that lets us know that he's out for gold, but he's not really a miner. He's not working for gold. He's ripping people off who find the gold, and it's some great characterization, because we know that, and then we see him talking to this guy in the bar. Points out that he has a metal arm. He says, "I bet that iron hand of yours must make life pretty tough." And the bandit, we'll call him, says, "You ain't wrong. I left my hand in a grizzly's mouth when I tried to save a widow and her kids." First page we get a joke, an ironic joke, like he's a little bit of a silver tongue, as well as a thief, and he asks how to get to somewhere down the road. And they tell him, here's a safe route. There's a police outpost along it, and take that one. You'll do fine. And he says, that no can do. Doesn't tell him why you can't go that way, but I'm sure it's the police. And they tell him, well, there's another way. There's another pass. You have to go up the mountains. But there's a Japanese fella up there, and you need to pay him, or he'll kill you. He's a good shot, and he'll get you if you don't pay him for the use of his road. So he says, "Thanks for the advice." Goes on up there, and really nice, just great framing. It's like this isn't cheating. This is just smart, just flattening the shapes. I'm very impressed by this type of not architecture, but background and landscape drawing, because the shapes on the silhouette are extremely simple, but well designed. And inside is this amazing pattern and texture and simulated rock texture, rock pattern. But you look closely at it, and it's just, I think this is just fun. I mean, it's just variety. So your eye's picking up variety, and like, just incredibly thin hairlines and little squiggles indicating rocks, deep shadows. So someone's obviously knows what things look like in reality, and can change that, can work with that to make it in an artistic way, not just a photocopy. Sits down to catch his breath, take a little smoke, and bwang! Shoots his pipe right out of his mouth. Japanese man. He says, hold your fire. I'm here to pass. You don't need to kill me. They go into his house. I guess it's probably the place he does business. And again, very cool. This whole thing is interesting because there's, of course, I'm sure you've heard that there's much sharing between the samurai story, the samurai, and the cowboy. They're very similar aspects to them, where they're basically loose. They're in the world and they walk the earth is kind of the phrase, and have adventures. And they're not really tied to a king or a country. They are themselves and alone. And this guy looks cool. I mean, giant gun in his waist belt, purple. Like, obviously he knows what they wear, like a traditional Japanese guy would wear, man would wear, like these kind of like burlap or thick corded sandals with socks inside, and a katana. This guy knows a thing or two. He says death came in with the man, and therefore he's going to kill him. He doesn't want it to be him, so he's just going to do it quick, regardless of if he can pay him or not. The miner or bandit says, "No, wait, hold on a second." Lifts his iron hand and shoots from the wrist. Bwang! We get some blood, and the samurai drops his pistol. This is really interesting how it's cut. I think he wanted close-ups on two parts of his body, so the face and the hand. And instead, he could have drawn a man here getting shot, the samurai getting shot, his whole body if he wanted to, but those close-ups are good enough. It's like good film techniques. He goes down. The bandit is looking around for gold. This guy's been, tolling people for years. Probably has a lot of gold. And samurai isn't dead. He pops up. He says, "You'll never find it." And bandit looks for a weapon, pulls out the sword. Oh no, there's no blade. And I guess samurai was dead as he spoke his last words, so he doesn't get off a shot. And he keels over for good. And Jedediah here says his own name. The bandit gets another stroke of luck, and he even finds the gold in the katana scabbard. And he leaves. Here again, we get two panels. Let's see, what did we get? When people travel here, he gets 1, 2, 3 here, and 2 here. Those are, I always like those a lot. Those just panels of showing the passage of a person. He's going from here to there, and the landscape changes, and we have some sort of experience. I mean, of course, it's condensed time, but I, potentially, I'm interested in like expanding this kind of stuff. If it were interesting, if I could do it in an interesting way, just the passage of one person through a landscape, and all the small things that the person might find. Anyway, goes on, and we get years later. He has settled down and lives a quiet life in a country of his own. Yeah, Sergio Toppi, everybody. I mean, there's just so many things to say about his work, and I don't have words. I don't have words to say it all. But just get a book of his, 2 books, all 10, and study this stuff if you want to do illustration. But of course, if you're just into interesting folkloric stories, this is there's tons of it. In the whole kind of 10 works here, and that's kind of what I feel like there's a connection between him and Mignola for that as well. Just someone who's just doing folklore from around the world in different parts. And Hellboy is just a frame character that experiences all those. And there's a mythos that sort of arises out of that in his encounters, and him at the center later on. But this kind of stuff was like, I feel like very, Hellboy's early adventures was just encountering folklore and tales. This was a fun one, the air, really cool, like voodoo hoodoo stuff. But this one, really like this as well. It's a little bit of music and stuff here, like we're in the bayou in Louisiana. This one was a fun one called The Blues, published in 1990, and it's incredibly fun. Like, we just start with this old vacant house in the middle of nowhere. There's 2 pictures inside, and they start talking to each other. And we get who lived here and who were these people. And the blues player says, "I'm tired of sitting on this chair. I want to get out." His parents say, kind of, "God bless you and come back. We'll be here when you come back." And he's called Honey Lips. And all the little animals say, "Whoa, Honey Lips, it's on the move. He hasn't come out for a long time." And he walks the earth as well. Really, just incredible creativity here. There's this mailbox, and the mailbox asks Honey Lips to play. Honey Lips plays, and the mailbox remembers all the letters that pass through him or it, and the photos and the experiences of the family that live there. And so we get this idea that of course he's magical. Of course the songs that he plays have a strange and uncanny effect on those things that is played for. He goes on his way, meets a junkyard, and this rascally junker, they talk. He's lonely. He wants to hear a song. Gets a little wets his whistle with a little whiskey, and off he goes. And here we are again, a bird talking. "Oh no, Honey Lips is drinking." And this Texaco gas pump and the bird are talking. It's really fun. Just like, do it. Just do it. And the bird explains that not all good things happen when Honey Lips drinks and then plays. he goes to a place of his own and brings back things that he shouldn't. And the things that he shouldn't are his lost lover. And she does not want to be called back again. So this doesn't seem like a one-time thing. It seems like it's happened before, and she is ticked to be dragged back to the earthly plane, and she is gonna kill him with this giant wicked knife thing that like materializes. Look at this. This is fun. It just materializes in her hand. 3 panels, hand outstretched, cross-hatching to show it's not like fully there, and then bam, it's there. And she's coming down on him. The junker shoots her. Bang. And Honey Lip says, well, she's not really gone, but kind of got saved out of that scrape. They go in to eat a sandwich, and this guy, incredibly creepy salesman, we think, comes knocking, and this, again, incredible facial detail, it's like you've seen these people before, at least in movies. But still incredibly cartoonish. Great line. The junker is saying, are you a salesman? Buttons, brushes, ladies' garments? And the salesman says, metal toys. And he pulls out a gun. Great, and he said, like this one. Great, transition, really, it's kind of clever. Honey Lips is, he doesn't beg for his life, but he asks him to play a song, because this is the last time he'll be able to. So he plays a song for the gentleman, and we got Bugs talking about it down here. Again, I'm a fan of Bugs. Whenever you get some Bugs talking, I'm a fan. They're describing just how it's sounding, and you can tell here that we're entering into the he's not a salesman, he's a hitman for either the mafia. He came to get the junker because I guess the junker ran out on the mob, and so we're taken into his head, into his memories. Honey Lips is playing for him, and so we see that he was a cop at one point, enjoyed the finer things of life, I suppose, and he kind of doesn't want to leave. He's there in the reverie of the past, and of course we get a backstabbing from the junker, and Honey Lip says sort of the debt is paid, I got the girl that wanted to kill me, and then you got the guy that wanted to kill you, and they part, and he goes on home, settles down again. It's fun. Again, composition, characters, great. All right, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the long-time watchers and the new subscribers. If you have bought Joe Death, if you liked it, please go online and review it somewhere, anywhere you can. Amazon, Barnes & Noble's, Goodreads. That helps people who aren't familiar with me find it through the interwebs, algorithms. But I tried to do a lot of things that Sergio Toppi did. Bringing things alive, bringing things into life in a more cartoony way here in Joe Death. I think you'll love it, and if you have bought it, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, till next time.